Hello there and welcome to Football Everyday. Yes, we are back and we are coming to you live and direct from the Star Spanking News Studios here at Studio V1 Utama. With me on the show is the usual Football Everyday crew. We've got Mr. Shebby Singh, we've got Daryl Goh, and we've got Nelsen. Say hi, guys.
How's it going, man? How's it going?
All right. Excellent stuff. And we're back for a new edition. And I tell you what, this new edition, we've got a very exciting new competition for you guys to get all excited about and try and take part in. It's called Gunning for Glory, and you will get a chance to go to the Emirates to watch Arsenal at work. So very exciting competition there. A little bit more about that competition later on in the show, but we're going to start the show off with some football chat. And Shebby, mate, we're going to start this with the transfer window. Transfer window is just shut. Obviously, you have a lot of opinions about it, mate. What do you think of all the comings and goings this January?
Yeah, number one, I'm glad it's shut because I do agree with most of the managers that all this normally turns into a disruptive month. And once again, the richer ones, will get the best players. Not in the case of Spurs, though. We might not be rich, but we've got some very good players back. I think some of the major transfers that I was hoping would happen, like Kaká coming to Man City, or rather for me, it was more Kaká coming to the Premier League rather than Man City, if you understand what I mean. It's a pity, but I'm glad Robbie Keane is back. Although I'm disappointed with his decision to come back. I think he should have stayed at Liverpool, prove a point to Rafa, and then say, okay, what now, Rafa, Jermaine Defoe coming back again is fantastic, although he's out injured. The big one for Spurs, I'm sorry, this is not a Spurs show, I know.
but they are Wilson, one of the biggest spenders.
Wilson Palacios, I think, is going to be an excellent signing. We've got Didier Zokora, who can run all day, but hasn't got a clue when with the ball at his feet. But Palacios will do more than that. He'll run all day, he'll win balls, and he'll get forward as well. A perfect foil for Luka Modric. So I'm very excited, and I do think that Arsenal too will be very happy with Andre Arshavin. I do rate him as one of the best second strikers in the world. When I say second striker, it's like Del Piero and Alex Del Piero, not an attacking midfielder like a Francesco Totti. And I think Arsene Wenger will be very happy to play him in a 4-4-1-1 because you've got to play him behind a target man. That's where he's at his best. So I'm happy with that. Nothing else that really, I don't know.
Well, I want to pose it to Daryl, maybe, because I know you got a soft spot for City, and of course City are the money bags in town at the moment, and they went out and bought a couple of players. Bridge and Bellamy, what do you think about that, Daryl?
I mean, Bellamy, I guess was. The fact that the whole reunion with Mark Hughes, I guess that would make sense.
He loves to change clubs, doesn't he, Bellamy?
And I guess, like we're looking at, Bellamy here. I guess he's got like a big transfer. How much was he? What, 12 million, something like that?
Something like that, yeah.
And you're looking at like, is he going to perform, or what's he going to do at Man City at the moment? They got rid of Joe. He's gone to Everton, right?
That's right. He's gone to Everton on loan. But City seems to be a club that were desperate to add some strength to. I mean, they wanted to buy at all costs. And besides Bellamy, they managed to buy Wayne Bridge. What do you think of Bridge, and how is he going to enhance City, mate?
Well, Wayne Bridge is basically a type of player that is basically going to work for the team. And you look at Man City, like Shebby will agree. How many of them will go and pull up the socks? Especially the Brazilians.
It was becoming a bit of a Brazilian, I would say a very disruptive Brazilian influence. But I'm very happy with Nigel de Jong. I think he's a fantastic player, followed his career in Holland and with Holland as well. And I do remember mentioning two names that I would love to see in the Premier League. One is Nigel de Jong and the other is Demi De Gea. Very similar kind of players. But I mean, credit to Mark Hughes. I know Mark Hughes has been smashed by the media, but I think he is doing it the right way. You need a solid backbone. You need players who are maybe not the greatest, but who can be a big influence. And Bellamy is not going to keep his mouth shut off the pitch or on the pitch. And the likes of Robinho will have to stay on their toes with Bellamy around.
Great. Well, Nelson, I want to bring you in on the conversation because United went out and bought some very interesting young talent. One of them is Tošić. And we talked.
Put the words out of my mouth.
Yeah, we talked about this yesterday. You like this lad, right?
I'm being biased. It's Zoran Tošić for me, but I think
Please be biased because I agree with you.
Having seen what little bit of him in action, I think it's going to be real quality in the future for United. I got to agree with Shebby in the short term. I think Andre Arshavin could have the biggest impact. I think, you know, on especially the way Arsenal are playing at the moment. I think they need someone like him, someone of his quality to hopefully turn their season around.
Okay, fantastic
or what's left
stuff.
of it, you know.
All right, guys, I'm gonna cut you off for a bit there because we're gonna take a little break. But when we come back, we're gonna take a look at the cultural phenomena that is fantasy football. I know a lot of you guys out there play it, so we're gonna have a little discussion about it. Also, we're gonna tell you all about exciting new competition, Gunning for Glory. So keep it right here. Hello there, welcome back to Football Everyday. Okay, before we progress with the show, we just want to talk about this very exciting competition that we are running. It's called Gunning for Glory. I'm going to pass you to my man Nelson, who has all the details about this very cool competition.
That's right. We sent 2 people to Barcelona the last time round. This time we've got a real treat for all you Arsenal, sadly, and Chelsea fans. You know, as the Gunning for Glory contest is offering 2 grand prizes to catch Arsenal versus Chelsea live in the UK on May 9th, all right? Very quickly, starting next Friday, you know, the contest runs for 4 weeks, and the format is basically the same, where you've got to collect the answers to 2 questions each week, all right? Complete a simple slogan, and then submit your entries at the end of week 4, all right? We'll definitely have more contest details for you next week, as the contest officially starts only next week. So for more details, make sure to catch Football Everyday again next Thursday.
Yeah, exactly. So Sheb, mate.
Yeah, it's interesting. You know why? Because Arsenal, Chelsea, May 9th, Arsenal could be playing for their Champions League future. They could be playing for a place in the top 4.
And that's definitely, that could be a title decider as well. I mean, I'm sure Chelsea is still going to be in the mix come May, right? Are we confident about that, lads?
I think Man United will have it sewn up by
Thanks.
excuse me, end of March.
Well, everyone out there, no matter what happens, it's still an experience of a lifetime to get a chance to go to Emirates. I've been there. It's an incredible stadium. So any of you out there get the chance to go,
And Zack,
you'll have a good time.
Ashley Cole.
And you get to see Ashley Cole go back
Against his old
to
club.
play against his old club, you know?
Of course, all this is once again thanks to Tiger FC.
Must be awesome, innit? Normally, he used to be. Was he ever booed by 38,000, or he's been booed by 60,000 already?
Yeah. He got booed at Wembley, remember? So. All right then. Well, don't forget, do tune into Football Every Day every week, because this contest thing is going to run and run. So watch the show. Right, we're going to move away from the contest now and talk about something that I have a great interest in, which is fantasy football. I know a lot of you guys out there are playing it. This is something that we want to discuss on the show at this very point in time. Sheb,
yes,
mate.
Indeed, Zack. I mean, you guys have to tell me why you do it. But okay, let me outline the scenario. You get 100 million to start with. You can buy, you know, players, whoever you want, as long as you don't exceed that amount. And then you spend every week fretting about whether your player is playing or not, whether your player is going to score or not, whether they're going to assist or not. It's a great game, but I would rather be Abramovich, you know, or the sheikh from Kuwait, because then you can really go out there and do it. But Zack, why do you put yourself through this?
Well, I tell you what, Shebs, right? Just, before I answer that question, let me tell you a bit about fantasy football. I mean, online fantasy sport is big business. I mean, it's a multi-million-dollar business. Millions of people
It's
around the
because you
world are
contribute
playing
to it.
Yes, I do contribute to it.
Only a
Millions of
couple of
people,
million?
yeah, me and millions of other people around the world as well. But to answer your question, Sheb, I tell you what, right? It's, you know, I don't get a chance to play Championship Manager on computer anymore, which takes up endless amounts of time. So this plugs me in. This still keeps me up with the football, and it doesn't take that much time, does it, Nels?
No. I think what differentiates fantasy from Championship Manager is the fact that it's based on real life, you know. So we all follow our football. So you know what I mean. If so happen a player who scores in real life is in your fantasy team, you know. Yeah. Double joy for you.
And
I
I
guess.
tell you what, Daryl, right, you appreciate this because I know you like watching lots of football. When with fantasy football, if you're involved, you can actually watch a neutral game, and if your team is you got a player involved there, it really enhances your enjoyment of the game. You know,
Yeah,
like I watch Bolton, watch Andy O'Brien. I mean, why else would I watch Bolton?
I was coming to that, you know. Let me tell you, right? And I'll just look at the defenders that Zack has got in his team. They're very exciting.
Spoken like a true defender.
Bosingwa on the right-hand side, fine, not a problem. Davies at centre-back, okay. But how can you explain buying Andy O'Brien and Lucas Neal Why, Zack?
One word, they're cheap. Right now?
Okay, but Nelsen, I will say I'm very impressed with your back four. Bosingwa on the right, Evra on the left, two super fullbacks. Kompany and Daniel Egger. You must lose a lot of points when Egger doesn't play.
That's the sad thing
doesn't
about it
even
at the
play.
moment.
But that's a decent back four.
Thank you.
I mean, why do you have a strong back four and Zack hasn't got?
I try and do something different here at Sheb because my back four is based on like the kind of contribution they make to the game. I mean, it's all about points. So guys like Davis is a clean sheet machine. I think O'Brien, occasionally Bolton keep a clean sheet. But primarily, you're looking at guys like Bosingwa who's going to bomb up and down the line, get your points.
So the two players that both of you have in your teams, Jose Bosingwa and Cristiano Ronaldo, so can't argue with that,
The first player
So
of the
sometimes
team,
sense does prevail.
Yeah. I mean, the stats don't lie, lads. The stats don't lie.
Portuguese.
Two Portuguese. But Daryl, mate, you have some opinions about fantasy football. I mean, you love your football. Why don't you play it anymore, mate?
Oh man, I don't know, man. I see the kind of stress that people go through. I got enough stress in the office, but I mean, I do understand where it's coming from.
Stress being a Liverpool supporter.
Yes, that's very true.
I half expected him to turn up with a black armband because, of course, Zack's Everton beat Daryl's Liverpool.
Oh, yes.
And knocked
Sorry,
them out
Shanks.
of the FA Cup.
Yeah.
A young kid of 18 years scored the only goal.
Okay, lads. So the last word on fantasy football before we go for a break.
Well, Zack, as you've said, I mean, it is a great business, really. But again, what would you rather be? Would you rather be a live Roman Abramovich, or are you just happy with this and can tell people how to join in as well?
Okay, excellently put. Well, we're going to take a little break. When we come back to the football talk, a look at all this weekend's matches. So keep it right here on Football Every Day. Welcome back to Football Every Day. Okay, we're going to launch straight into the chat and we're going to take a look at this weekend's fixtures in the Barclays Premier League. Lads, I'm telling you, very exciting matches this weekend. Daryl, you got the list, right?
Well, here comes February, right?
Yeah.
And we all know that this is a crucial month where I hope to see what Nelsen was saying. We see the whole table shaping up and all that. And Shebby basically talking about the fluidity of the whole midsection of the table.
Which is why every game has got some meaning to it. Normally when it comes to February, March, April, you know who's going to get relegated, and there are one or two teams trying to avoid relegation. But this time around, I mean, it's fantastic. Every game has a meaning. I mean, you look at the list there: Man City, Middlesbrough. Middlesbrough need a point from somewhere. Sunderland, Stoke. Even Stoke will go there and put up a good performance.
Yeah, like Nelson's saying, Blackburn as well. fighting for their lives. Yeah.
But the question to Daryl is, do you think Liverpool are going to beat Portsmouth?
Well, that's the late game on Saturday night, right? Portsmouth at Liverpool. The big issue right now is basically Tony Adams.
Liverpool at Portsmouth.
Portsmouth against Liverpool, right?
Liverpool,
Okay, at Fratton Park. We're looking at Tony Adams has been given 3 games to basically save his job.
Now. Yeah. Well, like I said in our tip talk this week, which you can read in the Star Football Puller, actually, Portsmouth are a team in free fall. I don't really see how Tony Adams can arrest that. The window is closed, so they can't buy any reinforcements. But
But
he's
then
going to have
again,
to
what
work
about
what he
Liverpool?
has.
I mean, that Chelsea result, barring the Chelsea result, aren't they like in free fall also?
I
I
think
don't know. I think the knives have been out for Liverpool for quite a while now, and I think is this a bad season for Liverpool, Shep? They're second in the
No, I
league.
mean,
they're still in the Champions League.
I would say, Zack, the knives have been out for Rafa because from what we've seen of the season so far, Liverpool should be 8-9 points clear at the top of the table.
Okay.
And that hasn't happened,
Right.
and the whole world will tell you why. It's Rafa Benitez. He's got absolutely no idea about tactics. His substitutions are all over the place, and he's a very I would say vindicative person. He holds a grudge against someone. He'll hold it till whenever. So it's Rafa who I think stands in between Liverpool and the Premier League title.
But you know, I mean, I agree with you there, Sheb. I mean, Rafa,
You would, being an Everton fan.
Yes, I would. But like, mate, just a bit of perspective.
Let him
like,
defend himself.
You know, I mean, guys, both of you will agree with that. Is this a bad season for Liverpool? I mean, come on, you're still in the race, mate.
Definitely
You
not.
know?
Just to echo Shebby, I think the problem with Liverpool is that, you know, to me, what differentiates champions from also Rans, I mean, it's that mentality, you know, they've got to win, they've got to win. They've got to win when it matters, and I think Liverpool haven't been doing that, especially in the last
fair
5 or 6
point.
games, you know.
Outside all the dressing room, I mean, problems at Liverpool, and I mean the boardroom and Rafa's contract and all that. I mean, when it boils down to taking the bus down to Portsmouth, what do you think is going to happen?
Well, I do think like Liverpool, you know, this defeat in the FA Cup is the shot in the arm that they're going to need. I don't see them losing back-to-back games, be it in the Cup and the League or whatever. I think they will sort themselves out, and I think you can see a more dedicated Torres than we saw last night against Everton. Really.
And you're playing a team, you know, that let's go back to last season, Portsmouth. After they qualified for the FA Cup final, they had a very bad run, and then when they started the season,
they didn't start their holiday early.
and when they started this season, they weren't great. Let's all remember that because of how tight the table has been, you know. So there was not too much emphasis paid on Portsmouth's performances. But I mean, they are poor, and the confidence has been shattered. And when your manager is told that he's got only 3 games, the players can't be bothered.
I tell you what, lads. You know, if Liverpool have any pretensions about being like Premier League champions, this is the sort of game they have to win.
Yeah.
All of us are saying that Liverpool will beat Portsmouth, but come Monday or come Sunday
No,
after
I mean,
they play,
look,
say, oh,
you know, you
they
just
drew,
think
or,
about
you know.
if United at this fixture, Ferguson would be looking at it going, well, this is 3
Yeah.
points, right?
Yep.
Come on, lads,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
And I believe Scolari would feel the same, Wenger would feel the
I
same.
think that's what managers do, or top managers will do. Like you mentioned Sir Alex Ferguson, away at Upton Park against West Ham this weekend.
It's a bogey team,
They would, it might be a bogey team, but when the season starts, you look at West Ham and say 6 points.
Yeah.
You know, and you look at Portsmouth and you say
And
6
I
points.
do believe he does that. I mean,
Yeah.
you know, you can see by the way the team sets out to play these games. They play it like a home game. They go all out for the juggler. I don't really see Liverpool doing that often. They're cautious, you know, Shebby.
Yeah, because the manager, you know, his personality is a very cautious personality, and that is why the team doesn't play well. But I do expect West Ham to give Man United a game. West Ham
Like Daryl says, they're a bogey team.
defensively very well set up. I mean, I've mentioned you know, their Catenaccio style of football. Let's defend deep like the Italians do with Zola there, obviously. But still, Man United, you know, in a game like this, they'll sneak it somehow.
Michael Carrick for
here or
me
there.
is going to be key. I think.
Well, guys, we're just going to have a quick wrap-up. But before we go, Shebby, I just want you to quickly tell me your thoughts about the North London derby. What's your prediction?
I am being very brave here, as usual. I'm biased as much as I can.
Excellent. I
And
expect
blind
nothing
to the
less.
fact that Spurs have had a bad season. We're going to beat Arsenal 2-1.
Beautiful, sir. Robbie Keane to score, of course.
Of course, on his debut.
On his second debut. All right,
Second coming.
Well, lads, thank you very much. It's been excellent having you back on the show. We are football every day. But before we go, I'd just like to mention once more our very exciting contest called Gunning for Glory. Win a chance to go and see Arsenal at the Emirates. Thank you very much, Tiger FC, for bringing us this contest. So do tune in next week for more details about that. Until then, enjoy your football. Ta-ra.